Well, I thought this could be the right time to discuss the evolution part of HRM because organizations are going through a difficult phase due to this COVID 19 lockdown. But this lockdown may have the keys to unlock the doors for us so that we can go back in time and experience how HRM evolved over a period of time. So, if you are interested in the topic, stay tuned till the end of this video. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe it and hit the bell icon so that you can watch more such interesting videos. Hello everybody, this is Amit and you are watching Managementrix. Well, as I said, I'm going to discuss this topic with the help of COVID-19 because my effort has always been to enhance your ability to connect your subject with the current problem taking place in your surrounding. Well, as we know, we are living in a knowledge-based economy where your individual capabilities to connect with your knowledge and expertise with the current problems makes you a desired candidate for selection. Well, I was going through an article published in Economic Times where they had spoken to more than 2 dozen corporate employers and they asked the same question to everybody, that how they were managing their employees during this difficult time. Well, everybody shared the same opinion that employees' safety and wellness is their priority, and they also said employees are our biggest asset. Well, at this difficult time when employees are sitting back at their home, organizations have come up with some novel ideas which have never been experienced earlier. For example, doctor on call, psychological counseling, online programs for meditation and physical fitness, and some of the companies have even paid salaries in advance. So the question is, was the grass greener on the other side right from the very beginning? The answer is, of course not. Well, as we know, everything started with the Industrial Revolution, when with the help of a steam engine, everything was being produced in mass, and to produce in mass, huge number of workers were being hired, but their working condition was pathetic. The wages were on the lower side, they had no job securities, unhygienic working conditions, and they were treated as servants. So from that phase which was prevailing in 19th and 20th century where workers were just a replaceable part for the organization, to this phase in 21st century where they are considered as the biggest asset. This entire journey is discussed under the evolution part of HRM. But the evolution of HRM cannot be discussed in isolation because how economy evolved during this period of time should also be discussed simultaneously. Because from being industrial-based economy in 19th and 20th century to being a knowledge-based economy in 21st century, the nature of job also changed drastically.
Well, this graph clearly indicates that in 1900 only 17% workers were engaged in knowledge work and 83% were involved with manual work. This number gradually changed over a period of time, and in 2020, 75% employees are engaged in knowledge work. This clearly reflects the shift from industrial economy to knowledge economy.
Well, so what is the difference between industrial-based economy and knowledge-based economy? Let me explain you.
An industrial economy is an economy where majority of workers are involved in manual work. It is about converting materials from one form to another. Assembling, lifting, combining things are some examples of manual work. The outcome or the result of manual work is always visible or tangible to the managers or supervisors, and it becomes easier to control the process. On the other hand, knowledge-based economy is an economy where majority of workers are involved in knowledge work. Knowledge work is all about processing information from one form to another. For example, idea generation, problem solving, critical thinking, etc. The outcome or result of knowledge work is always intangible, and therefore controlling the work process becomes difficult. Hence, organization has to depend on individual commitment and efficiency of employees.
So if you are involved in a manual work, you are just a replaceable part for the organization because the kind of skill which are required to perform a manual job can be easily learned by anybody in 2 to 3 days. But in case you are engaged in knowledge work, your individual talent, your individual creativity to generate ideas, the problem solving skill, the critical thinking skills become more important for the organization. And they also know that you as an employee bring competitive advantage for the organization, and that's why you become an asset for the organization. So this was the answer why HRM evolved over a period of time. Now let's discuss the people who contributed in the development of HRM.
Robert Owen, is also known as father of personnel management. While managing textile mill from 1800 to 1828 introduced number of reforms like reduced working hour, housing facility for the workers, and free education for employees' children. F. W. Taylor. He introduced the concept of scientific management in 1911. His entire work was about improving labor productivity. Henry Fayol in 1916 presented his 14 principles of management, in which he discussed how to improve productivity at the same time the working conditions of the workers. Elton Mayo. He is known as the father of human relation movement. He laid down the foundation for the human relation movement and explained why human elements are important to enhance productivity. He was the one who said that needs of employees should not be ignored by the top management.
Well, unlike USA and other European countries, in India during 1920 only this subject got some attention when government intervention to protect the interests of the workers was felt necessary because of the difficult conditions which followed the First World War and the emergence of trade union.
Trade Union Act 1926. It increased the participation of the workers in decision-making process. Royal Commission on Labour, which was chaired by John Henry Whitley, submitted his report in 1931. He recommended the appointment of labor officer to protect workers' interests. Enactment of Factory Act 1948. The objective of this act is to improve health and safety of workers. This act made it mandatory to appoint a welfare officer in every firm which has 500 or more employees.
Massive investment in heavy industries and the growth and development of public sector resulted in a shift in focus towards the professionalism of management.
During the 1960s, the personnel function began to expand beyond the welfare aspect. In 70s, focus was again shifted from welfare to efficiency because this was the time when the organization realized that only when employees are efficient, productivity can be increased. In 1980s, due to technological advancement, the focus again shifted from administrative role to strategic role.
That is why and how HRM evolved over a period of time. I hope you liked this video, and if you liked it, share it with your friends. And if you have any query, feel free to ask in the comment section. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can watch more such interesting videos. We'll see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.